All right, guys. In today's video, a lot of people asking me this question. So this is a slider pin here. So the slider pin has a. This is the first time I'm taking this off. This is original brakes. So first time this is getting brake pads and rotors done. So I removed this little guy right here, and a lot of people ask me about this rubber grommet right there on top of this slider pin. So this came off from the top. So this thing has few functions, okay? Function number one, it eliminates vibration as it rattles in there if the caliper moves. And then I'm gonna take off the bottom one so you guys know what the bottom one look like. So we're gonna loosen this up. And what I'll do is I'll remove this little guy right here. And none of these boots was on top of this slider pin, so that's another thing you want to be careful with. Look at it because moisture and water will get in. You see how this works? You see that? That's magic, okay? That means this is very good, okay? Lubrication is good. In the bottom, it doesn't have it. It does not have any slot. It does not have any cuts. It does not have anywhere for the air to escape, okay? So these works as like air pressure inside here. So they work like a cylinder. So the function why this bottom one doesn't have it and this top one has it is, if you can notice, it's on the top, okay? The reason is it's going to create more pressure than the bottom one. So since this pad and this caliper and the pads are front of the rotor, this is like the back of the car, if you can see here. So since the calipers in the front, a lot of people ask me, where does it go, in the top or bottom? I always look at it. It's on the top if the caliper is in the front, because if this opens up the patch better than the bottom, the rotor will turn this way and it will pretty much engage on the cylinder, the pressure, and open up the pads so the rotor can slip right through, give you better fuel economy, so the brakes are not sticking onto the rotor. And but if this caliper was in the back, then it would have been on the opposite side, which would have been in the bottom here, because the rotor will travel this way, and that'd be the first point that it has to open up, so the rotor can slip right through it. But if you go on the other side, it's the same thing in the front and back. So we're on the driver's side now. So this is the driver's side. So if you look at it, same thing. It's gonna be on the top. Most likely, it's gonna be in the top. And I'm not going to remove this. So same thing, this rotor would be turning this way as the car moves forward, okay? So the first point that would go into the pads is this part of the rotor. So that's why it has that. So it eliminates vibration. It keeps good pressure in there. That's all it does. So if you want to know where it goes on the top if the caliper is in front of the rotor, but if it was in the back, it would have been in the bottom. So that's how it goes. So again, here's another... I did a video before and I'm adding this to it. So remember, this slider pin never came off. This slider pin sits up on the top. So it's the one that has the little rubber boot on it. So that's what's gonna, rotor's gonna come this way. It's gonna be the first point. It works pretty well that way, okay? So that's how that's gonna go. What I wanna do is I wanna pull this guy out. Again, we're gonna talk about this little guy right here, okay? You see this little bushing? It's in the bottom, okay? This is the first time I'm taking it off over here. It's in the bottom because the first point that's going to go into the rotor is this caliper is based on the back of the rotor. So as it turns clockwise, this is the driver's side. This is the first piece that's going to go into the pad. So this has got to be open. That's how I see this prevents vibration. Plus, it gives it like a air pressure to it. So that's how that works. So what I want to do here is I want to pull